Hello everyone. Recently, I have repeatedly shown you the Scandinavian defense debut. Usually in this opening, the black queen walks all over the board, can get under the pace, under traps and under a lot of things. But in today's game everything will be exactly the opposite. White face will be walking today, but the debut will be the same. e4 d5, took a pawn and a knight in 6 on the field of d5. Here, black does not immediately punch with the queen, but attacks with the knight, so that the knight moves, let's say 3, let's make this move. They took it, ate it, and there is no longer a knight f3 move to attack the queen at a pace. There is such an option. Here it may even be better to play a knight on the field f3, you can also play d4, you should not hold on to this pawn. And what will happen to those who still try to hold on, let's say, by the stroke of 4? The pawn was defended with a pawn, the knight can take badly, and here you can play in this style of gambit, a little undermine the center with the pawn's move on the field of the king. You can hit the knight on the capture, the knight will develop into a good field, but white can try to play a bunch here, play the queen a4 move, the pawn is tied, it is now impossible to take 5 on the field, but you can ambush the bishop d-side move. Already in this position, black has a more pleasant, better development. But the engine writes that the position is equal and here white should have gone to the field b with 3 queens, attacking a pawn, leaving from under all sorts of hidden threats. Instead they make a mistake, they take 6 pawns to the field c. I don't understand that all sorts of bounces are threatening to take the horse. Goes to the field b3, but it should have been done a move earlier. Now they fall under the next pace of horse d4. Attack the queen, attack the king's field, the queen departs, attacks the knight, covers the field. Black plays e5 and let's see. Black's 4 pieces are very active, while white's queen falls under the pace, everything else stands still. The pawn is backward, the pawn is not doing anything useful yet. That is, black, despite the fact that white has an extra pawn at the moment, black is very much ahead of them in development, which will affect in the future. They go instead of trying to somehow develop the pieces, I don't know, to play some kind of knight move on the field, so that the bishop has already developed for the warm-up, you can leave in castling. White decides to chase the material, they play 4, it doesn't go into any gates. You can't do that when you don't have development, you can't chase the material. Friends, they were counting on the capture, but if there is an f capture, then a knight is lost, or a pawn is taken and 2 pieces hang at once, but here is a very beautiful answer. And this answer, friends, bishop b4 is such a combination move. I am sure that each of you understands why not to take. It is impossible to take this black elephant, although it is not protected. It is protected indirectly. To take, of course, a knight's move will follow on the c2 field with the queen winning, and it seems to me that there is no point in playing any more. White is trying to move on, playing the queen on the field d3, still holding very tightly to the police too, afraid not to lose this rook, but you can't do that. If everything is already falling apart like this, you should already throw off, I don't know, Lazio, quality. Well, in fact, the position is already very bad here. You have nothing developed, you are already doing the queen further, I do not know, maybe even the 5th or 6th move in the debut for the first 9 moves. This is absolutely abnormal, this is no longer chess and it all emphasizes the bishop's move on the field of f5. Everything, whether you want it or not, you will have to give it to Lazio. The queen goes to the field w3. Already here, in principle, it was possible to play a knight c2 to win this rook, but black plays much brighter and more correctly. They play knight e4. Attack the queen and attack the mate. It already seems to me that white reacted to this, they already understood that everything was treated with understanding and allowed black to hold their beautiful combination, taking the queen to the field of 7. Finally, it is already possible to give a check with a knight from the field c2, if the king leaves, let's say on the field d1, he has only 2 fields, this is d1, field e2. Let's say on d1. Then check the horse, the king goes to the field barely and here, friends, just check Felsham from the field d3. The king takes the knight and the checkmate with the bishop from the king's field. See almost all the black figures, well, in addition to the lazies, they actively checkmate. At this time, the queen is generally walking there somewhere, doing something incomprehensible. All the other pieces do not help in any way, they do not try to protect their king from their main man. Well, what will happen if, for example, we leave for the field barely? Come on, friends, don't peek, I suggest you find a beautiful move, there is a checkmate in 2 moves. I'll tell you, find this checkmate in 2 moves and write in the comments. Don't look to the right, there is already an answer there. Well, I will show you the answer accordingly in a couple of seconds, but I will give you the opportunity to think about it in such a really very beautiful position. Well, I show the right solution, and this is the sacrifice of the queen d3 check. Not to take this Felsia already Felsia. The queen is basically possible. Well, on the move of the queen d1, I think you can find a checkmate. Let's say the knight moves to the field f2, and if you take the queen, then the knight goes to the field c3. In principle, the knight in 2 can also be double checkmated. And here is such a very beautiful mat. The figure under the battle. The figure, it would seem, is also under battle, but indirectly protected by an elephant. And such a very beautiful box of pawns and knights, which bind the king as much as possible, and check from the bishop, that is, for light pieces now together give checkmate, that is, all for light pieces. The elephant protects the horse, so you can't take him as king. The elephant protects the horse, and here is a very beautiful mat. It seems to me that this construction is worthy of chess textbooks, and perhaps it is there. I personally met this batch on the internet and decided to share with you such a beauty. Well, friends, write comments. You can write any comments for promotion, preferably of course related to this game, with chess. Go to the channel, I have videos coming out every day. You can emphasize something interesting, you can just complain about me that I shoot all sorts of crap. In any case, you can put any comment, like, and even a bell here. In general, my video comes out every day at 17:45 Moscow time. That is, every day you go to this channel, every day at this time you see a new, fresh, interesting video. Now they wrote to me recently why I left the live board, because there is a lot of work. The computer version allows you to remove it all, mount and unload it much faster. I practically get up before work every morning and shoot something new for you, something useful, so that you are friends and develop. My goal is that you develop, watch me, and we help each other like this. Thank you so much for watching. I wish you happiness, health, and a peaceful sky over your head. Bye bye.